We're too late. He's here.
Yo, what's up with it, cutting? No, it's your boy Double Shams. I'm right here with the bro host. Yeah, you know, the nigga named Toenails.
I'm right here with the other one.
With the other one.
You know.
Yeah, but we had a caller come in with his calling with his own interpretation and theories on what's going on with this Dogman stuff. But yeah, before we get into that, you know, hit us up at Darkhand Art, DarkhandArt.com. I almost can't spell my own shit, you know.
That's how it be. I swear to God. How old is you? I think I'm end of the day, what we got to say is that anything is all subjective to say that
and like
it's not
us on
the
Apple Podcasts, Speaker Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We everywhere. Deezer, go there. You support us, like and subscribe to something so we can
like to describe that shit. End of the day, everything that we put out there is to say that
Podcast Addict, Pod Chaser, Geo Savine, all that. You know, but bro has something to say, you know, but we gonna get into it because we got this interview. This motherfucker was
regardless on that. Just say that we don't want nobody to press up on us like we trying to be correct. No, we literally just give it our truth.
This is his.
It's our truth.
This is boy's truth. But
in most cases,
we don't give her and talk about what we
what they say. Truth can be challenged in the idea to say they would withstand if that's what it is.
Yep. After we hear boys, but yeah, here y'all go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is W. Shams, and I got a guest here. This is my first time trying to do a interview. It's with NeoBlaze, and he has his theories on Dogman. And I'm just gonna let him go ahead and get it going. All right, so what theories you got on Dogman?
I got a few theories on Dogman. Some of it's scientific, some of it's a little bit to do with religious origin, which I found kind of cool.
So some of mine has to do with the government too, though. But yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's some talk about that too, because I've heard some stories to do with that. Okay, so sorry,
take your time. You're good. It's all good.
Cool. All right, so think about it probably at the very beginning, which goes back to thousands upon thousands of years ago.
Like before the Egyptians with the dog head people?
Well, a little bit farther than that, I think. According to some of my notes here that I was looking at, it said 400 BC. But it actually goes back farther than that through Native American.
With BC, what dynasty would that be for the Egyptians? I'm trying to BC. Trying to think of which king or pharaoh around that time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't really know, but you can go ahead.
Okay. So science-wise, I feel like I should probably start there. A long time ago, scientists, I think 20 or 30 years ago, scientists said that human beings shared a common ancestor with apes. Apes back then were very, very different from how they are now. They were like one particular species that branched off and went into two different categories. Some of those categories wound up being modern day apes, gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, and the other group supposedly went into human beings. which is really interesting to think about. And the one thing that I was thinking of a while back was like, wait, if something like that can take this drastic change and become two different things, why can't a like wolf do the same thing? So in this case, it'd be like an ancient wolf, probably a common ancestor with a dire wolf, which apparently isn't actually a wolf. It's an ancient canine creature, but is vastly different from how wolves are today. So if they took a very similar path that humans and apes did, then this wolf-like creature went ahead and divided the two different categories as well.
Started walking upright.
Yeah. Yeah, one went into, like, say, dire wolves and then regular, normal wolves and, of course, dogs. But if it took on other traits, it could turn into something else. In this case, it could turn into a Dogman.
And that's where that werewolf thing comes from, with people seeing them.
Yeah, well, actually, werewolves are a little bit different.
That's more magic.
Yeah, well, I study magic quite a bit, actually.
I got a cousin that's really into all that.
Cool. So yeah, that's a bit different, but it's kind of similar. It's like if a werewolf is like if a person became a dogman or a wolf using magic. It's really cool.
Enchantments and ruins, or
from what I understand in history, about 200 to 400 years ago, a man was captured after they were chasing a wolf, but they were chasing, and it stood up on its hind legs, and it turned into a human being. They arrested him.
More like a changeling or a skinwalker?
No. No, it's not a changeling or a skinwalker, surprisingly. Those are also very different. What happened was they put the guy on trial, and he confessed to the murder of, I think it was at least 12 girls. And
he thought he was like a vampire. Thought he was a wolf, or
no?
I remember hearing about that. The serial killer.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this is what he did. From what I understand, I looked into it a lot. He got a belt from somebody. It was a magic item. I don't know what it's called exactly, but I've looked into it, and there's actually one in a cult museum somewhere in the United States. But this belt, it's made from human flesh, and it allows its user to change into a werewolf, or even like a normal wolf. So it has 3 stages to it. And I thought that was very interesting. And that's, where lycanthrope more or less came from what I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more like a skinwalker, though, because skinwalkers wear the pelt of the animal, but he wearing a belt that's of flesh, so.
Yes, but skinwalkers use animal skins and pelts to do that. This was human skin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They use the pelts of the animal, what they want to change into.
Yeah,
he's
definitely
using flesh.
Yeah,
was this human flesh?
Yeah, human flesh. I'm not exactly sure what the actual process is because I couldn't find the original spell on the internet anywhere, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere historically. But yeah, I heard,
they clean them. They censor those archives to people to be able to get it in real knowledge, so they filter all that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was interesting. More so because I heard about the belt quite a while before I heard about the one and only documented werewolf trial. So when they mentioned the belt being a thing, I was like, wow, that is kind of crazy.
I'm trying to think, why would human flesh make you turn into a wolf when I don't know if it's just because it's native magic or a different type of magic, because I would think that the essence of the animal or whatnot would make you turn into of that. I'm saying, like, they put on the skin of a wolf, they turn into a wolf and whatnot. But putting on a human flesh belt make you turn to an animal. I mean, unless it's just enchanted with that type of magic of that spell, just saying that this is what you're able to do. That's all I understand how that belt would do that.
is a very different thing from science. Like, science tells us how something happens.
Yep.
Magic doesn't necessarily need to make sense. That's the really crazy part about it.
That's why I tell people that. Yeah, I mean, I can see with that. Yeah, you saying that. But yeah, I was just thinking in more of the process of the native ones as they taking the essence of that animal to turn, and they don't always be right because they can't fully turn into that animal, so they like have no tail and stuff like that. So I hear that all the time.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. But
yeah, you can go ahead with all your stuff. I'm just cutting in so much.
Okay, well, that's fine. The things that I do understand about magic is that it's the conversion of energy. Basically taking energy from one thing and putting it into something else. I don't know the spell for the belt, so it's like I can't really tell you exactly how it works. If I know what the spell was, I could break it down for you and tell you. But I don't even know. I wish I did because it does sound interesting. But also sounds tragic because it's like you got to kill a human being in order to do it. So yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
It's blood magic.
Blood magic, flesh magic, necromancy. Yeah, actually, I think it falls more under necromancy. I got myself a book on necromancy by accident, and it was full of different stuff. Not just like bringing people back from the dead, but like magic using corpses as ingredients for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got people have them. Goofer dust. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Dogman. A while back, I came across this I wouldn't say it was like religious text, but it sounds more like a story. It had to do with Native American culture and how they believe the world started. And it does actually mention Dogman, which is pretty crazy. So basically how it goes is the great creator was chopping wood in the forest to fire his kiln, basically is what it was. So he was like chopping down trees, making logs to feed the fire in his furnace so that he could bring life into these clay sculptures that he had. And so these clay sculptures were like everything. They're like everything from like people to animals and to, those kind of things. Basically stuff we consider normal. Well, there was a coyote who was looking at these sculptures and he got jealous. And he's all like, it's not fair that the creator can have all these like amazing clay sculptures and bring them to life, and I don't have anything.
I want a likeness.
Yeah, and his likeness. He was jealous of that because humans were made in, the creator's likeness. He wanted something too. So he stole some of the sculptures and he changed them and gave them the head of a coyote, and then he put them back, and just hoped that the creator wouldn't notice. So creator came back. Yeah, he came back and he started putting the wood into his furnace to get ready to fire up the sculptures, and he noticed the ones with, the coyote head, and he knew he didn't make them. So he was like, hey, coyote, what the heck, man? Can you explain yourself, please? Okay, he didn't actually say that in the story, but more or less. So the coyote, told him, he's like, hey, you made all these cool things, but there's nothing that looks like me. I don't think that's fair. So the creator decided to go ahead and let him keep the sculptures, and he put them all into the kiln, and they all came to life. And of course, they populated the world through different means. But then the coyote people started like hunting other people, hunting other animals for sport, for food, whatever, and they were causing a lot of trouble. And let me think here, what happened after that?
But yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you what you're saying, but I remember my great-grandmother telling me that story when I was little, like back in the 80s, because my great-grandmother was native. Yeah, I remember that story. She used to tell us that. Because I didn't want to interrupt you on that. I was to say something. I was like, no, let him finish.
Yeah.
Because I know that's how me and my brother are. We be talking about stuff and we be trying to let each other finish before, because, you know, you want to cut in because you don't want to forget what you're saying at the time. But yeah, I remember that. He said he blew before he was jealous and he changed the head and all that. Because I don't know if you heard about the ones that were over there. I think it was the Middle East somewhere, the ones that lived in the mountains. And the people who said they didn't talk, but they barked, like they could understand English. And they were like a nicer breed of them. I think they would hunt, not even like basically domesticating the animals that and it was one of the explorers, I can't remember who it was, that he described them and talked about them, and people made paintings of them and all that. It was a peaceful clan.
Yeah, it's actually in my notes as well. Yeah, it was an ancient tribe kind of thing. Yeah, that was apparently, according to my notes, it says that some of the people that actually encountered them while exploring was supposedly Christopher Columbus and Marco Polo.
Yeah, that's what it was. And that's what I was telling Mother about the other day, about Kublai Khan and Marco Polo.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely very, very cool. I read about those too, and I was just blown away. I was like, what? Really? People used to live alongside them and they got along?
Yeah, the Mongolians know about them. They never did fight with them, I don't think.
I hope not.
But yeah, I said I got different ones, but I remember people telling me about the ones that get into people's house and all that are mainly the ones like spiritual. The demon ones is taking on the form of a dog, cause they usually have the red eyes. They said the natural ones have the yellowish, the amber colored. I was thinking they were saying that they take on the form of whatever you're afraid of or thinking of or something like that, them demons, the demon ones. Because I always listen to other podcasts, and there was a guy's wife was saying that she used to always have a red-eyed demon thing in her, I don't know if it was her closet or her window.
Well, since still kind of fresh on the subject, the tribe of basically Dogman, I have their name on here, but it's like I cannot pronounce it. So, anyways, the tribe of Dogman living up in the mountains. I did look into that. It was definitely a cool thing to read about. Talked about how they would trade with humans. They would trade them like meat that they basically dried out on hot rocks during the really sunny days, I guess. And they would trade them meat. They'd get weapons from them as well, and clothing, which I thought was kind of cool, because imagining a dogman wearing like an animal skin vest, that sounded kind of cool. And another thing I thought was interesting about that was it actually mentioned their hygiene habits as well. It actually said that the females would actually bathe themselves once a month, and the males would never bathe at all. I thought that was
that's what it smell.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it made me think about. With a lot of these other encounters, they always talk about, they smelled something that smelled like rotting meat or something like really, really bad. And maybe that's the reason, because they don't bathe. But also, because I did hear, a couple stories for, that one where they smell really bad. But I also read this one a while back that was really cool. It was these kids. They went exploring in one of those abandoned houses that's kind of out of the ways. And they were I think 12 years old, give or take. And they went exploring in this house at night. And they went down into the basement, and they found a female dogman. And that they know is female because female biology. Yeah. So, yeah, they described her having scars on her face, and I think they said blue eyes. From what I understand, most of the time people describing them having 3 different colored eyes, which is red, blue, and I think amber color.
That's the main one I hear of.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was pretty cool. But they're always like glowing eyes, which makes me think that their eyes have some kind of bioluminescence in them by like nature. Because there are like different creatures out there that do actually glow in the dark to some degree. Like you've heard of that those like plankton, right? That glow when they move.
Yeah, the ones you disturb them in the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's phytoplankton or.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, like you stick your hand in the water and it just glows blue. Yeah, really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Dogmen have like some kind of chemical that's like that in their eyes, and that's why they glow. It might be one of those like nature's intimidation tactics kind of things to keep other things away from them, like people. You see eyes glowing in the dark, that's pretty scary.
Like the cartoons.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
See, I think me and my brother always think the cartoons and movies tell you the truth and the news lies to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a theory a long time ago that like the best way to hide the truth is in movies because people watch.
And then when you say that something happened, people say you watch so many movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
they're all.
Reverse psychology. They reverse everything in this world.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's like that would make perfect sense. Because, like, to one degree, if people see it and they know it's fantasy, they're not going to believe that it's real.
Yeah,
but
like
then when
magic.
Yeah, but then when fantasy is standing right in front of them, they freak out because their brain,
it shuts
told
down.
them. Yeah. Like I've had that happen to me before, not from encounters with monsters or anything like that. It was a girl I went to high school with. She was kind of a promiscuous girl in high school. And I ran into her like years afterwards. And I saw she had a kid with her, and for a second my brain just like did this glitch thing where it was like, holy crap, she has a kid. I was not expecting that.
Well, shocked you so much that she had a kid?
Yeah. I don't know, the best way to describe it was like my brain kind of had a hard time processing the fact she had a kid.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because you knew her from being younger?
Yeah. I knew her from high school. She was very, very popular among guys. So, yeah, the thoughts of her having a kid never once crossed my mind. And then she, had a kid sometime after high school, and it was just like, whoa, what the? Okay. Yeah, I even asked her if it was hers, and she's like, yeah, it's mine. I was like, oh, shit. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. I actually do have a few more things I wanted to share, actually.
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yep.
I just don't want to take up all your time if you had other stuff.
Nah, I got like all the time in the world today. And tomorrow, actually. Yep.
Go as long as you want.
Cool. So, yeah, going back to Dogman, because as we were talking, I was trying to think of like other stuff to add to that conversation. So one of the things that I found really interesting, it was an interview that I heard. It had to do with one of those like ex-CIA people. I forgot exactly what he said he was, but yeah, he was a part of I guess the not sure exactly how to describe it. I want to say the Monster Subjugation Squad. That's not actually what they were called, but he was talking about how like him and like some other guys worked for the government, and they would like go up into the woods and like they would hunt down like Bigfoot. They'd hunt down Dogman.
I heard of it.
Yeah, it's like that's some really interesting stuff. They would like I guess pick one or a couple of them, and they would basically take them back to the facility for breeding purposes.
Yep, to use them in the war and all that.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, man,
you heard about the one with the Vietnam one?
Oh yeah.
They were sending them over there overseas into the tunnels to kill off Vietnams in the tunnel.
Oh shit, they actually use them? Damn.
Yep, I heard about that. Take them from Appalachian area and all that stuff and capture Dogman and throw them in there.
I'm going to have to look into that. Sounds really interesting.
It was the guy, his squad. It was his squad in Vietnam that did that.
Man, that must have been terrifying.
Mm.
Just like you're just out in the woods with a gun and you just, all of a sudden this Dogman just comes running at you.
But you heard about those things too, I think it was some kind of, I don't know if it was some kind of monkey. What they call them monkeys, things that was down there in Vietnam too. They said they used to throw big rocks or something at the people down there. The apes, some kind of things.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. That kind of blew my mind. There was like, if I'm thinking of the same ape, there's like this particular species of like chimpanzee that's like much bigger, and like they taught them to like take these big rocks and like kill lions.
Mm.
And it's like, man, that's crazy to think about because like they're huge in comparison to like say a regular chimp, which is generally pretty small in comparison.
Yeah, pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, like crap, you can kill a lion. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, I don't remember what those guys were called.
But I know the Vietnamese knew about the creatures. They was deep in the woods and the swampy areas where our people were mostly at. They had encounters. People was talking about encounters they were having with them and fighting with them and all that.
Man,
they said they used to take some bullets.
Yeah, I've heard some Dogman stories that were kind of like that. Like one of those guys shot one with a shotgun and just blew his fur all to pieces, but like the buckshot didn't actually penetrate his skin.
Mm.
Like
buckshot.
Yeah.
So one guy said he's going to use slugs.
Yeah. Actually wanted to actually go up in the woods years ago, but about 5 years ago, I think. No. Yeah. Well, like I wanted to take precautions. Like I was planning it out. Like I wanted to get a trailer and I wanted to go to a place where people reported Dogmen, but they never reported an actual person was killed by one because I wanted to be safe. And my plan was to take a truck and a trailer and just drive out there and spend 24 hours, well, more than 24 hours, there, like for a few weeks, maybe a month is what I was trying to plan out. But like, things happened and I still haven't done it, but it's like I want to though. I want to take like 10 trail cams, put them all on the edge of the woods, pointing out towards the woods. What I want to do. I think it'd be fun.
I don't want nothing to do with the woods. I don't want to see none of this stuff. I mean, like I said, I don't think I ever seen was like orbs or things in the sky and stuff like that. But my cousin sat and told us about his thing that was haunting him. But we used to wonder why he was always up early in the morning all the time. He said he'll leave when the sun rises, and it would just sit there and just look at him. I was just like, man, that sounds crazy. I would have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big scary person. I'm scared. Scared of everything. I don't want none of that. No ghosts, no nothing. I mean, I like this thing where everything's interesting, and I feel for the people that go through traumatic things, but I don't want nothing to happen to me. I don't want to go looking for anything. I'm perfectly fine reading about it and hearing about it and help people do something if they have issues with it, but, I don't want none to just try to make something happen. something happens, it happens. Can't
control it. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, definitely it's one of those things where it's like you got to have some balls of steel to want to be able to go out there and do it. But it's like, when I think about it, it's all like, if I know that it's not going to kill me, I think I'm fine with that. Like, I've been trying to prepare myself for years.
Well, when I hear people have different encounters, some say they feel like they're about to be killed, or, it's a bluff charge, or some say they just have pleasant ones. So it's different ones.
Yeah, Yeah, I even heard a story at one point where someone actually got pinned down by a Dogman. Like, it actually came running at them, pounced on them, and just snarled at them from like 2 inches away from their face. Didn't kill them, though. Did not kill them.
Quite an experience, though.
Yeah, that would definitely be terrifying. Be a huge relief walking away from that. But yeah, that would definitely be absolutely terrifying.
I'm just dead. I'm dead. I'm down from heart. A wolf man, a werewolf. Like I said, that Dogman name is just a weird name. Because I had when I had first ran into it, I was just like, Dogman, what's a Dogman? And I seen him, I'm like, okay. And I just got deep into it. And everything's a Dogman. I was just listening to everything and looking at everything. I was just fascinated because I know I heard about Bigfoot for years and heard about people seeing it, and the famous video. What is that? Gimlin, Patterson.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, that's what it was with the Bigfoot. I was just saying that. But you can go.
Yeah, I actually had a very similar take on it when I first heard of Dogman. I was like I think I was looking at like real werewolf videos kind of thing. When I stumbled upon, Dogman, just like you, I was like, what's a Dogman? And of course, first thing I Googled was it was like a comic for kids called called Dogman.
I never heard of it.
I kind of like seen it a little bit on the shelves at Walmart, but like it was something I was never interested in. But I just thought it was funny that's what popped up when I tried Googling it. So I had to be like more specific. But
like I said, the filters.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely. But yeah, actually while looking for like real werewolf videos, I actually did stumble upon a pretty compelling video. Actually, a couple of them. Now that I think about it, one of them had to do with the Michigan Dogman, I think is what it was. This is
Bray Road.
No, it wasn't that one. I forgot what it was labeled, but
the LBL one I heard of or something too.
Yeah. I'll try to find it and like send it to you.
All right.
Over email, because I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, I think it was like the Michigan Dogman video. But yeah, I mean it looks weird. It's this guy that goes up into the woods, and this is like really old footage. It was like one of those do you remember the cameras with the cassette tapes in them?
The old bigger camcorders.
Well, probably not like the big one on the shoulder, but like the first ones where they had the little mini cassette tapes.
Yeah, and they flopped and it popped out the side and you got the pop the one in. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's about how old this footage was. That was the camera that was shot on. And so yeah, this guy goes up into the woods, and he sees something, and it shows what he sees. But to me, it's always looked like some dude dressed in like a really kind of almost like mascot costume like thing. Like you can see like 2 round ears. It almost looked like this guy was wearing a costume that was supposed to be a bear. Is what it looks like to me. And it looks like he's like on all fours. Is what it looks like. And so it's just there. The guy with the camera staring at it, and it just kind of starts charging at him. And as it's charging, it starts like
the shaky cam one. That's the one they found out was fake.
Oh man, there's a fake one.
The one he was supposed to attack the people or something like that. You seen it and it was like something that charged the camera, and then the camera had like fell down or something like that.
Kind of the guy basically turns around, runs away, and then like the last scene on it is seeing like these jaws bite down, and the camera just like lands on the ground.
I think that's the one they found out that the guy said faked the whole thing.
Oh man, that was a really good fake. But yeah, I'll see if I can find it, send it to you, and let me know if it's the same footage. The other footage that I like is even older than that one. But yeah, it was these people kind of hiking through the woods. I say kind of because like it looked like a couple of soldiers escorting like I think a couple of people through the woods. So I don't really know the backstory behind it. But they wind up coming across what pretty much looks like a dead werewolf on the ground. You can see its face, you can see its eyes. It looks like it's been dead for probably like a couple of days. And they show pretty much all of it. From like its head to its feet to its hands. I don't know if it's real or not. I mean, it kind of looks like it might be fake, but at the same time, it's like, it's really interesting to look at.
Never heard of that one. I want to see that.
I'll track it down. I'll send it to you. But yeah, that one's probably honestly my favorite one because that was where I was like, whoa, that looks real. So,
but you know, when you say stuff like that and it's so real that it's fake, it's got to be fake. That's what people start thinking.
Oh, maybe. I mean, there's parts of its face that looks like kind of almost, to me, it looks like it could be like some kind of like not like a mask, but it could be artificial in some way because its face it's not long like a lot of Dogmen are depicted. It's more scrunched in. So it does appear to be female though in the video footage, which was another thing I thought was very interesting. But yeah, you can see the teeth and everything. But yeah, I'll track it down and send that one to you as well. But overall, it is definitely a cool video to look at.
Well, I know I heard something, but you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know too much beyond that particular point. But
there's another thing with the military and the Dogman thing. I know I heard different things about they cloning them and they get more aggressive ones, and some had got out. It was just a bunch of different things I heard. I don't really have a definite thing myself or what I think it is. I just think it's just a bunch of different things. I'm just, like I said, like you, I have notes and stuff. I just got together and I'm still trying to figure this thing myself.
But yeah, that's honestly another reason why, you know, at some point in my life, I definitely want to go out in the woods and definitely go looking for them because I feel like I would get more information about them if I could actually see them in front of me.
Yeah, like a Jane Goodall thing, just know stuff and be around just to see.
Which is definitely why I would want to go someplace where it's like, where I know they're not going to like attack me. Like if they scare me, it's like, it's fine to scare me. I've been scared before in my life. So it's like, I don't mind being scared. It's when they start ripping off the lens is where I got the problem.
That's it. Just keep me posted on it. Let me know whenever you do start trying to do it.
Oh yeah, if I ever get a chance to, first thing I'm going to do is be like, got a camera. Definitely taking pictures, and because that's like the number one thing that I don't understand too well. Like I've heard stories where people are all like, yeah, there's a Dogman out in my backyard, and I took pictures of it. But the entire area is so unique that you would instantly recognize this location. So I'm not going to post the picture. I look at that, I'm always like, bullshit.
Man, I don't ever see a trail cam or nothing. But it's here all the time, and it lives here, and it's been living in my shed, and I had one as a pet, and so kind of stuff like, where is a picture?
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if I had a picture, trust me when I say that sucker would be up on the internet like 2 seconds after I took it.
But I think a lot of people are, I don't know if it's a threatened thing or something like that. It's telling people to not do anything or something like that. But, I mean, I don't know because I never had an encounter, so I don't know what goes on or what's going on. But
I've heard
like
stories.
I said, I don't know where there's no picture, actual good footage or anything, but.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that too, where like a guy caught a Dogman on his trail cam, and like the CIA instantly showed up like the next day and took all of his cameras, and took all of his memory cards, and took all of his computers. I've heard stories like that before, and I'm just like, that seems like a lot of effort for the government to try to keep it quiet. Honestly, if I was the government, I'd be like, you know what? Go ahead, post it. No one will ever believe you.
And that's the thing with it, not that 411 thing. People saying a lot of cover up, because I had my own interpretation on that 411 thing, that I thought it's pretty much the same thing as that cabin in the woods. So when I seen that movie, I was like, man, I seen that before I heard about the 411 thing, and I'm like, that sounds more like that to me than anything. And they keep it quiet and don't keep a record, and it's like, what?
Yeah, well, technically the best way for the government to keep a record these days would be in an actual physical file that they could just lock away in a room somewhere and not have any digital copies of it or nothing. Because, like, I've heard hackers, like, will purposely try to break into places through, their computer that they shouldn't go because they view it as a challenge. So, like, the CIA apparently gets, like people trying to breach them all the time. All the time, because they're all like, you're trying to hide something. I want to see if I can get past your firewall. And it's like, to me, it's kind of dumb, because, like, if you get caught, you're going to prison.
Yeah, but a lot of the people, they end up hiring them afterwards.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a smart way of handling it. It's like someone breaks in, and it's all like, hire them. They'll keep other people out.
Yep, smart move. They know how to incorporate everything.
Yeah, it's definitely smart. I wish I was that smart, but I'm not. Like, man, if I was that smart, that'd be a great way to earn money.
Yeah, I wish I could. I mean, I know some code, but I'm not a coder. I learned through a family member, and he got me in coding to, doing the websites and doing all that stuff. But as far as building the whole thing and hacking into something like that, that to me is like the Matrix. People reading that code and they see a woman, a redheaded blonde. I'm like, that's what a hacker seems to me when I seen that movie Matrix. I was like, yeah, them type of people.
Yeah, the Matrix is actually one of my all-time favorite movies, just because of how it is. It just makes you really think about reality, and it's like, our perception of reality, is it really reality, or is it what others want us to believe?
Yeah, it blew my mind.
Yeah, I think that is just a really powerful message.
I think I was 18 or so when that movie came out. That movie I was stuck. I was watching it with a cousin, with a friend. I was in there, like, I'm like, man, what is going on? I just remember the shock factor of me after seeing it, and just every time I see it again, I'm just like, I just remember that feeling the first time seeing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I need to watch that movie again. I haven't seen it in years, but it's one of my favorite movies.
That new one was stupid as hell, so.
Oh, Matrix 4?
Horrible. That movie was so horrible. I fell asleep and everything on it. I was just like, woke up like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, I woke up and Neil Patrick Harris was doing some slow-mo, and I was like, yeah, I was falling back to sleep. Like, oh my God. The movie just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, honestly, out of all the Matrix movies, the only one I can say I actually like and enjoy the first one.
Yeah, the second one, I got to skip through parts and watch that movie. I just want to see certain parts. But the first one, I'll watch the whole thing every time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the main thing that killed it for me for the second movie was the fact it was to be continued. I don't think movies should ever be to be continued because you never know if it's actually going to continue or not. Like, if the Matrix series had died before the third movie came out, we would never know what happened to Neo.
This is a money thing. Let's stretch it out.
Yep.
Well, somebody that die in the industry anymore now. Really? Hollywood. Yeah, the buzz. Yeah, but if you have anything else or theories or anything on anything.
Well, I do have one more story that I heard about a while back. Actually, technically there's two stories, but I feel like this one's a pretty good one to close things on. So, I heard this story where it was another one of those, this guy used to work for the government kind of stories. And
a lot of those.
Yeah, this one's probably my favorite one out of those particular ones. So this was actually on another podcast where I heard it. And so the host asked the guy, because, he was talking about, like, sometimes they'd have to go and subjugate the Dogmen and, kill, a lot of them because they were getting out of control. So they had to basically show them, hey, we're still in charge here. So he asked them one question, which was there ever a killing you had to do that made you feel bad? And he told him, he's like, yeah, there was this one that happened about 15 years prior to the conversation, and he said he got this assignment, and he said, hey, there's over in I think it was Alaska. He was told that this tribe over there was this dogman that was in the area, and he was told to go kill it. So he packed up his gear and he went to go hunt this dogman. And as soon as he arrived in the area, he saw the dogman laying down in not a field, I don't think. It was this little area, not that far away from the place where the tribe was living at. It was like if you stepped outside and saw your dog on the porch. That's basically what was going on. So he sees the dogman over there just laying down, sleeping. And he's just like, what the heck's going on? Dogmen are usually not like that. So he went into the tribe and spoke to the person in charge. And he's like, hey, what's with the dogman out there? And he's like, oh, well, the dogman is a resident of our tribe. He stays on the outside of the tribe, but he's there and he's friendly. So he asked him, he's like, well, how'd you get him to be like that? And he goes on this story on how there was a really harsh winter that happened, and they weren't able to hunt down any elk or whatever it was that they were hunting for food, and they were pretty much literally going to starve to death because of it. And one day they went out in the morning. They were getting ready, pack up and go hunting again. Try at least, till they can no longer try, because what else are they gonna do? And they found pretty much in the middle of their tribe area, they found 6 dead elk with their throats cut, and they were just they were confused. They're like, "There's 6 dead elk here. We've been looking for elk for a really long time now, and we couldn't find any. What happened?" So they went in, they took the elk, they butchered it and they skinned it, and of course they ate it. And after a while, they eventually found out what was going on. I forgot exactly how they found out, but I think they just kind of waited and just like looked outside until they saw something moving. But so what was happening was this dogman, this lone dogman that was in the area, noticed that they were having hard times finding food. So the dogman, being, you know, the excellent hunter that it is, had gone out, found the elk, killed them, and dragged them back to the tribe so that they could eat and they could live. So after that, the dogman, you know, just kept bringing them back, you know, food when they couldn't find any food, and they would also share the meat with the dogman. And that's why the dogman was there, because they had shared the food, and he would bring them food when they needed it. So he was there because they kept doing that. Basically, they would just give him like the organs and stuff like that of the animals that the parts that they wouldn't eat. The dogman would eat it, and he would stick around because it was a food source. So, so the guy, you know, goes ahead and tells them, "Hey, I was sent here by my government to kill that dogman over there." And of course, you know, they told him, "Well, you know, you better not, because, you know, dogman's our friend, and if you kill him, we're probably going to kill you." So the guy thought about it for a few days or so, and he calls up his superior and he tells him what's going on, and why the dogman's there. And his superior tells him, "Do not come back until that dogman is dead." So, so pretty much one day, he went ahead and had the guy that flew the helicopter there start up the engine, pretty much, and get ready to basically take off. And before he actually took off, he walked up, you know, with his gun to the dogman. Dogman looks up at the guy. I guess he was just surprised someone approached him or something. And he shot him in the head. Dogman dies. Guy runs back to the helicopter, gets in, leaves. And he said that was the one that made him feel bad, because the dogman didn't do anything. Didn't do anything bad. Everybody wanted the dogman there. And that was the one that really got to him.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. Definitely a sad story, but also a very interesting one, too.
Yeah, so you hear a lot of those used to work for the government people saying stuff.
Yeah.
Like later on in life, or deathbed confession type things, or say something but not, you know, say their platoon or where they from, or they just tell their little story. But yeah, that's messed up. You just killed it for no reason. But
yeah, and it was because he had to. I mean, to be honest, I think I would have retired there at that point and been like, well, that's the option. Guess I'm staying.
Yeah. Killing werewolves. Well, some people still want to call them that, because it's like, some people just, that dogman name just gets me every time. It's just, that's what everybody classified it as. So that's what you got to say.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they call them. Either, you know, dogman, or the name that I can't even remember.
Yeah, I know that was that one name they have for the dog, man, that the ones in the Egypt ones had on the hieroglyph. Remember the name of that? I think it started with a C. I can't remember the name of. It's like a name they use for that. I think it was their species name, or.
Yeah, I got 3 names on my notes. All start with C, and I can't pronounce a single one of them.
I know you're saying. I think I know it's a C word. Something like that. Cephala. Oh, I will probably look it up and see if I can pronounce it myself. Cause yeah, it's I know they heard so many different dogman legends around in different areas, and you know, people in Britain in UK say they see them, even though they know all of the wolves in that country have pretty much been hunted away. And people still have encounters and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe I should actually, just travel over there sometime. I mean, might be a good idea. I heard stories where they'd have like the dogman just like chilling, like right outside the gate of town. And people would go out there, because the people would tell them, they'd be like, yeah, they're over there. And then they wouldn't believe them, said they would go. and they would come back to the bar, and they'd just be like, "Yeah, you're right. They were there. I'll take a drink."
So I don't want to be nowhere where they're at. Because I'm looking into on for the website encounters in my area, in Missouri area, and stuff like that, and people have them and different things, and all in that area. Like I don't know if it was the Ozark area or, but I'm just looking into some like I'll be like staying close to home on a lot of stuff that I'll be looking into and doing on the podcast. But we do other things too, but I'll be trying to stick around and see what's going on in my neck of the woods first.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I was trying to do something similar actually a while back. There was a nature trail I still haven't gone back to yet. I should sometime because turns out there's some Dogman evidence over there that I didn't realize was evidence until I found out about it later on.
Yeah, I heard about stuff too down in my area on that little trail we have down here by the river. There's trails and stuff all around there that people are having encounters around in the area. Where I'm around, I had heard one or two on some other show or a channel, a YouTube channel. I can't remember. I watch so much stuff I can't. It just mashes all together. Like I don't know where I heard it from, but this with this and this sounds good to me on this, and I'm just piecing together the thing for me eventually to write myself a book about different things. Just taking notes. I just got to organize them.
Yeah, that's cool. That's actually a really cool idea. Although, for me, I would want to write a book on my own encounters. But I mean, that's just me.
I don't have too many, and I don't want too many encounters with nothing else.
Yeah,
like I said, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing to be into. And a lot of people are just discredited, discounted. Like none of that stuff is real, and this is what life is. Social media and TikTok videos, and this is what it's supposed to be. Like no, it's more. I feel like it's more. I'm like saying I don't know everything. I just get tired of everyone saying they know a definite on a certain situation or thing. I'm like, no one knows the definite, but the creator, the one that created stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in fact, actually, I have a theory about that somewhere out there. I don't know where. But I know, like, the Bible and religious texts have survived over the years, and a lot of them explain a lot of things. I'm still waiting for someone to all of a sudden discover God's Book of Monsters. Because I feel like there's got to be one out there somewhere.
That's why I just love my show, like Supernatural and stuff like that. That show was one of my favorite shows, and then it stuck into the Midwest where I am. It just appealed to me, and it was the two brother thing around me of me and my brother. It's just a crazy show. Like it just parallels a lot of stuff to what what me and him, but not crazy stuff like how they want things just a brother thing.
Yeah.
And then the monster thing, and it runs into many legends that run with stuff that really is going on and stuff I hear and on podcasts and people's encounters. So I was just like that show. Later on, I was watching it beforehand because I liked it, and it just started seeing more and more parallels with what's going on for real.
Yeah.
And like I said, it appealed because it was in our neck of the woods. The Midwest is always either up in Midwest in Kansas and Missouri, or up north a little bit, down south. It didn't really too much deal with east or west too much, but it was mainly just Midwest areas, and they went overseas every once in a while, but it was just mainly in our neck of the woods. That's why I like the show so much.
Yeah. That kind of actually reminds me, a while back I was looking at this, it was a map that had a pin for every single place that someone had reported in a Dogman. And well, actually, to me, it's actually kind of surprising, but most of the encounters apparently have actually happened in the United States and a lot of the European countries. Yeah, and I found that to be very interesting because like there's apparently a lot more encounters out there than I thought. I thought I was gonna like find like a few here, a few there, but it's like no, there's like a lot.
It's a lot of them. It really is. There's a lot of people just keep quiet because down in where my people are from, down in Louisiana and all that other area, they had so many. As far as they know them, and I think up in the Appalachian area they call them more boogers. Boogers, I think down there they call them that too. But it's the what's that name? I don't know why I can't think of it right now in my head. The wolf, the French name, the Creole one. Why can't I think of it? The Louisiana. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it right now. Brain fart.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I just can't think of it right now. You know that French. I don't know if you know about the French one. The name they have for it. Just can't think of it right now. Rougarou. The Lougarou or the Rougarou. That name.
Okay, I was thinking of the Lougarou.
They call it the Lougarou or the Rougarou. That's the one I was thinking of. Just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
That's the little legend of the French one in the Creole area down there where the most of my families either Mississippi, just mainly all down in that area really, where they came from to move up here a long time ago.
Yeah. I definitely need to try to make some time to go check out some of those places.
Like people down there, they live right alongside of them. They live for years.
Definitely sounds cool.
Yeah, I said they can learn how to coexist. You stay out of their area, they stay out of your area.
Yeah, I should definitely do that. I heard at one point someone went to the bayou at one point, and they actually like bought pictures from some of the locals there that actually took pictures of dogmen that were in the area. Yeah. So yeah, I should I'm not sure when exactly, but probably like I don't know, maybe three or 4 years. I should try to go down there and see if I can actually get photos like supposedly what this one person did, because that would be really cool to go actually get some of those. I actually did see a photo a while back. Actually, that was kind of interesting. It was of a dogman that someone shot downside. It was basically a child dogman, is what it was. There was this picture of this guy holding up this dogman that's the size of a child, and you can see it has like human arms and legs, but I'm not sure how credible that one actually is, because I swear it looked like the dogman was also wearing like overalls as well. So who knows for sure?
Yeah, but, you don't see he wasn't there, so you don't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's still
an word for stuff, but you don't never know.
It's definitely an interesting photo, and yeah, the really interesting thing was they called Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, that's the name of the people that control and police all.
Yeah.
Make sure you got your licenses and all that.
Yeah, apparently they call it Fish and Wildlife. Then they're like, hey, have you ever seen this before? And apparently the person that came out just grabbed it and threw it in the back of their truck and told them not to tell anyone.
That's what I heard about a lot of that, too.
Yeah, I was actually a while back trying to see if they were hiring, because I'm like, well, if they've seen that, then they probably see them on a regular basis. And I was like, maybe that's a good chance.
Yeah, I heard about the Rangers here see them a lot, too. And the Bigfoots. They know about them, they just supposed to not say nothing about it. Keep it quiet and keep the people coming to the national parks. But like I said, I just think it's the thing like the cabin in the woods. To me, you got to sacrifice some kids or someone every so often to appease to whatever it is they got going on.
To appease the old gods.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. I don't
maybe.
know. I'm not saying I know it definitely. Just feels kind of like something's going on.
Yep. And
Oh, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, the only real problem that I've had when it comes to stuff like that, like I'm a very open-minded person. I became very open-minded when I kind of just gave up on religion. Definitely a lot happier though. But yeah, you know, I take everything with a grain of salt. So like, is it real? Is it fake? It's like, well, I don't really have any proof, so I'll treat it like I treat everything, and that is just be neutral about it. Be open-minded about it, because unless someone like comes up with like proof and literally hands it to you, it's like a lot of it's speculation.
Yeah, like I said, you don't know because it wasn't you. You wasn't there. You don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, take it for a grain of salt. Like I'm gonna take your word for. I'm not gonna call you a liar. I'm gonna say, okay, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's another reason why I want to actually have an encounter.
Yeah.
Not just because I think it would be cool or anything like that, but it's like people say they're real and proofs, in the pudding. Yeah, exactly. It's
that's how I be about stuff. I'm just like, I want to see from like a mile away. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's nice.
Well, I actually have seen a few video footage where that was kind of the case, where it was like from super far away and you can't even tell what it was. And not gonna lie,
I at least want to be safe. A safe distance where, oh, okay, that's the Dogman.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to technically do it, to be safe. Like that family that grew up alongside Dogman, like they still live in the cabin where that place, where all that took place, and they still camp out in tents all the time. And the Dogmen come up to their tents and they sniff them. So like they're aware that they're there, and the Dogmen have even come into their houses at night. Well, I guess technically that one cabin, because nobody locks their door, and I'm just like, excuse me, you don't lock your door? And you let the Dogman in? He's like, well, we don't let him in. Just they open the door with their opposable thumb because they can grab the handle. And it's like, that would still scare me.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that one.
Yeah, it's like you just you hear a knock on the you hear a knock on the door. Who is it? Oh. The Dogman's just standing there.
Like it's Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Like Scooby-Doo or, oh man. When I think about that, I think about that Charlie Brown movie when I was a kid. Snoopy was like sleeping in this like abandoned cabin at night, and he's kind of scared because he's all alone. And he hears a knock at the door. He answers, and there's a bear standing there.
I don't think I've ever seen that
one. It's possible. I mean, it was actually quite a long time ago. It was part of my childhood. But yeah, Snoopy sees the bear, he screams, slams the door.
Is this on bottom?
Man, that still makes me laugh.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one. That one too much Charlie Brown, Snoopy, a lot of Garfield and other crazy shows. But yeah, I've never heard of that one. But yeah, you said you had any more notes or anything on that one? Because you said you had heard that one about the guy killing the Dogman. He felt bad about it.
Yeah, that's sad. But let me know if you've heard this before. Apparently, Dogman like to stack stones.
Yeah, I heard that was like a Bigfoot thing too, and bending branches and stuff like that. But I know the Dogman stack stones for a barrier thing, so this is my area or communication or something like that. I don't know exactly what it meant.
Okay, well, it kind of, goes back to me talking about that nature trail I haven't been on in a while. So, it basically, from what I understand of what, we were told, was that there's this place above this waterfall that was sectioned off, and we were told, oh yeah, they're like, that's where the Indian stones are at. And I was just like, Indian stones? What's that? And they're like, oh yeah, there's these stones that are stacked from the ground up vertically, and they're sectioned off because it's like I guess a historical landmark or something like that.
That almost reminds me of the totem thing.
Yeah,
totem poles.
Yeah, so I've been on this nature trail a few times over the years. As a kid, because school took a field trip there. But because of how steep it was when I was a kid, I never went up there. But then I went back there as an adult with my brother and a friend, and I was like, hey, I want to see these like Indian stones or Indian mounds. I think is what they were actually calling them. So we walked up there, and yeah, it was definitely a steep walk. Probably took us 10 minutes to actually climb up it. Well, yeah, we got up there, and there's this fence. This fence was a square, basically like a square-shaped fence that was chain link, and in the middle of it was it just looked like lumps, is what it looked like. It looked like these lumps where moss had grown over, so it wasn't anything really big deal to look at. And so, yeah, I was kind of disappointed. But what I noticed something up there that I thought was a little strange, and I was just like, oh, I guess other people put them here or something. But what it was these little stones, probably about the size, maybe roughly the size of a baseball roundness, and they were stacked up. Yeah, they're roughly almost the same size, and yeah, they're just stacked up vertically on a slant on a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was probably like 6 of them, and I just looked at that because like they're standing at least like a foot, maybe a foot and a half high, and I was just like, man, whoever stacked these, I have like talent because I couldn't do that.
Just like the guy with the guy on the beach that be doing the stone stacking.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really think much about it at the time, but then years went by, and I heard the Dogman like stacked these stones, and it described them, and I was like, holy crap, that is exactly like what I saw over there. Because I thought it was weird that there's these stones that weren't, behind the fence. I was like, oh, I guess other people came here, but like thinking about it, because I actually looked at them pretty, detailed, and thinking about it, these stones would be very hard to stack because you got to know exactly where their center of gravity is in order to get them to stay. And they weren't held together by glue either. Well, I mean, I didn't knock it over. I just kind of assumed. Because I would have felt like a dick if I knocked it over because it's like somebody worked hard on it.
Yeah, it was like a national thingy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I heard this, story where it was actually near a government base, from what I understand, where on the side of the road, that's what was over there. It was these stones that were like stacked up, roughly a foot high, and they were perfectly balanced. And apparently, according to to somebody, I guess, that worked at the base, because like sometimes when people, they'll drive by and they'll be like, hey, there's this weird stones over there. And they'll be like, okay, thanks for telling us. And then they go over and they'll knock the stones over. Only for the next day to have the stones be stacked up once again. Yeah. And apparently some of the people that actually knocked them over actually put it to the test. They actually knocked them over, and then they drew numbers on them. And then the next day I came back, and the stones were found stacked vertically, in the exact order of when they were before they were knocked down. So all the numbers like matched up. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to whatever number of stones that there were. And so apparently, according to the people who knew more about what was going on, apparently the Dogman would come and they would stack these stones up overnight, and they would leave them. And the theory was, the reason why the Dogman did this was to get people to stop and look at them. Which, right off the bat, sounds like bait. But they wouldn't, nothing would happen. They would never attack anyone. So the theory behind it is the Dogman would stack up these stones to get people to stop and look at them and get out of their vehicles, because probably about 50 yards in the brush, the Dogmen are showing their children what humans are.
Mm.
And they're teaching them about us.
Watch out for them.
Yeah. Like one of those things where it's like, hey, Junior, you see that? That right there is a dangerous thing. Never let them see you. Hide. But that's what they look like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really shows that they're like really, really smart and intelligent if they can figure that out. But at the same time, it also shows you that if they really wanted to hunt people, they already have the perfect bait.
They can. They're stealthy as hell.
Yeah. You just got to drop something off that looks interesting enough to get out of the car. And once people are out of the car, the Dogman is there. They could kill us. So yeah, I thought that was a very interesting thing.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Teach the kids. People stop because people they want to take a picture for their what's the name nowadays. But being back then too, is you see something balanced that don't look like it makes sense. You would stop and look like, what is that?
Yeah, especially that many stones. Like when I was younger, I actually tried to stack stones on top of each other.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I would get like 3 stones high and it just fall over. So imagine like 12 to 15 of these stones stacking straight up.
Man.
It's like, man, how did they do that?
I said, like that guy I think he is somewhere over there in California. On the beach, the guy, he was homeless and he started stacking stones like that and balanced them. He makes some nice stuff. And people just be trying to do it and he came. And I think he's like one of the only ones that can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a hard thing. But like ever since, I realized, about those stones, it's made me want to go back. I mean, it's been like, I think a couple of years since I heard about that and I still haven't been back there. Well, I mean, there's a reason why I haven't been back there. You see, I want to get a better camera. I want to get like one of those DSLR cameras that has the zoom. Because I saw a video where this guy did a trick. He had a DSLR camera that had a zoom on it. And he he was out in the woods. And I don't know if he felt like something was staring at him or what, but he zoomed in with his DSLR camera. Probably about 50 to 100 yards away.
It's a good lens.
Yeah, really, really good lens. It looks like a blur, what you see. But he was actually really good at standing still, because you do actually see, like, what I saw on there when I watched it. It was very hard to make out what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was a Dogman. The reason why I think that is because you can see its eye, because its eye is like kind of glowing. And at first I saw that and I was like, that's probably nothing. But you see it blink on the video.
I think I might have. But yeah, the farther you zoom out, the harder it is to shape more and more. The farther you zoom in on things. Because I have a DSLR camera, and that's what I have, a Nikon, and I use my photography and artwork and stuff. So yeah, things are expensive.
Oh yeah, like I saw one at Costco that I think was like $600, and I was like, okay, I just gotta save up $600.
That's how much I paid for mine. The whole pack and everything. I had They just start off with some start-off lenses, but them lenses are expensive. The long, big ones, he probably had like $1,000 for almost for lenses, hundreds of dollars for. Just as long as you have the body, you can just buy different lenses.
Yeah, so that's the main reason why I haven't been back there, because I don't have one of those cameras.
Man.
But if I ever do get one, which I'm sure eventually I'll get one because I want one, I'm going to go back there, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in a 360-degree turn, and I'm just going to be watching to see if there's anything there. See if I see anything blink, because I'm thinking there's got to be something staring at those stones or the general area where the stones are at. Because I don't think they'd be there otherwise.
Yeah, a lot of people say they don't ever want to leave the tree line, really.
But, well, yeah, there's lots of reasons for that. It's safety being one. I mean, like, there's even video games where they, I've even actually done that. You ever played Forest?
Who?
Okay, well, the cannibals in that game, they'll run up to the tree line.
Sons of the Forest one just came out. My nephew was trying to get that. Yeah, the Forest, that game. Whew. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Going in them caves is ridiculous.
Yeah, I've been trying to do an actual full playthrough of it. Not on YouTube or anything, just because I've been in the game with friends, which is really pretty easy to do when you have at least two other people.
Yeah, because you got to build that base up in them traps and put them heads on the stakes. The cannibals are crazy.
Oh yeah. And so yeah, I've basically been doing a solo run on there. It's been fun, but yeah, I've been building lamps in the caves and in the tunnels so I can actually see. Because
the new one, they had the bunker inside of a cave, I believe. So it looks so much better and new, and they implemented all the stuff that was in the original Forest and some new stuff. I was looking at people play it and checking it out before because I try to have I got people that play games, and we're trying to get this channel together to actually get some subscribers. And you subscribers doing so much better than me, because I haven't really tried, because I'm more of my podcast and website. My stuff posts too for YouTube because it automatically goes, but I don't really try for the YouTube no more because it changed so much. It's not the same YouTube I remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was talking to someone else about that the other day. They were like, remember when there was oh, crap, what did they say? Well, I ended up bringing up the whole, I was like, yeah, thanks to copyright, you can't watch a music video, you can't watch a Halo music video with Linkin Park playing in the background.
It's just so many ads, and you can't do anything, you can't show anything anymore, and it's a channel to monetize. You got to do 1,000 and all these watch hours. I'm like, well, it's not like this. It's not YouTube. I remember people free for all, and just like going to the West, when they just moving over to the West, it's a free for all, and then here comes the government, swoop on in, let's regulate everything. This is mine, that's mine. Parcel of your land, that's mine. That's how it was. It seemed like the old YouTube was just like the old West, and here comes the government, swoop on in.
Yeah. YouTube used to be like the cool kid in school who'd be like, hey guys, if you want to see something cool, check this out. And then the cool kid grew up and he's like, no, now we need to follow the rules. And it's like, shit, you used to be cool, man. What happened to you?
No, that's how it was. I watch a lot of old school stuff, and that's what it seemed like you see. Traveling to the people go over there, travel, and Oregon Trail and all the other stuff. And, they all living like they want to, and you ain't got to worry about no regulations of city stuff. And here come the railroads and the people coming and changing everything. Law, man, cracking down on people.
Yeah.
Censorship. Let's censor everything.
Yep. It sucks.
But yeah, if you had any more things or anything else,
good question. I think that's it, actually. I think that was all the stuff about Dogman that I currently have.
You said that was everything that you had?
I think so.
Well, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll just let you get up out of here because I was going to run to work on some things. But I appreciate you really calling because, man, it's my first time too, and I'm just like, don't want to know what to do and didn't want to mess up and was all excited. Like, yeah, someone actually called, and then I had something else come up, and I was like, yeah, hopefully they still go through.
Yeah. Well, it's been cool. Thanks for having me on here.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you came, but I appreciate it, though. And you said your thing was NeoBlaze on the YouTube?
Yeah. I actually went ahead and emailed you the link to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can find those videos, too, and I'll send them to you.
Well, yeah, I would love to have you on again, and we got some other stuff on some theories on other stuff. We just talk about everything. We didn't talk about the boogeyman, and we got other ones coming up. But this one's gonna be after all the other ones coming up, so I ain't gotta worry about ruining and spoiling it, fake spoilers and all that. Cause we got the Hat Man, the boogeyman. We didn't talk about the Missouri monster we done had here, the Momo. It's just a bunch of stuff. The cemeteries. Talked about some true crime down in our area. I don't really care too much for the true crime, but we just touch on everything. We just trying to get a feel of how this work, and all the other ones I done listen to. I'm like, not really trying to follow nobody's format, but on just some basis just to start off. We started off rough, and I was like, just glad somebody actually called in and had some theories. I just put it out there, and I'm glad you came on. But yeah, I appreciate it though. No, just let you go and get up out of here. Hopefully you find some other things and send it on to me.
Yeah, I will do my best.
All right, you have a good day, man.
You too.
All right.